What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Thanks for joining. Today I'll be guiding you guys through a flow that will be focusing on taking us towards crow pose, which is one of the most fundamental arm balances in yoga. And we'll also be exploring a bit of how the hands work in arm balances, as well as the shoulders. And we'll also be working with a lot of active hip flexion, which is needed in a position such as crow, where you're rounded and you have your knees close to your chest. So take this practice as intense as you need to. Always remember, since I'm not seeing how you're practicing, if there's any moment where you feel you're moving towards pain, back off. And if you need any props, always grab them. We'll meet in a comfortable seat, can be cross-legged or as I am, sitting on my shins. You can always place a blanket or a pillow underneath. Actually, speaking of pillow, if you have a pillow, it might be good to grab it. So use this moment to grab a pillow if you have, and we'll meet in a seat. So before we settle into the practice, let's ground ourselves into our breath. So once you found your comfortable seat, sit nice and long, lengthening up through the crown of the head. Shoulders nice and relaxed, hands wherever they feel comfortable. And let's slowly start to let the eyes fall closed if it's comfortable for you. And start the practice with a bit of gratitude for yourself, for showing up and taking this time for yourself, which is always good. I always like to start by cultivating a bit of gratitude for having this opportunity, for having a healthy body. So take this time and thank yourselves, pat yourselves on the back. Now let's take a deep breath in through the nose and allow our bodies to melt to the floor as we exhale and feel the grounding. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. As you start to inhale, imagine as if the inhale's rising from the bottom up to the top and expanding all of your torso in a 360-degree fashion. So imagining you're lengthening, expanding the front, the sides, and the back. And as you exhale, let it all release from the top to bottom. And do a couple more breaths like that, really allowing the belly, the rib cage, the chest, the upper back to broaden. And as you exhale, release and let go. A couple more breaths like that just to settle in. Always remember that this is also a time to practice and harnessing our attention. So the breath always brings us back to the moment. So in this practice, whenever you feel as if you're drifting away, which is what the mind does, just smile, recognize it, and bring it back to the moment. One more breath in. And on the exhale, blink the eyes open. And let's start by removing any props that we have to the side and lay down flat on our backs. Now I want you to imagine as if you just woke up and stretch your arms back and your legs forward, stretching as if you just woke up. And on the exhale, release everything out and curl into a ball, lifting your sacrum and your scapula and reaching your arms forward into this kind of reclined crow position. And let's hold it here, feeling the core. Point the feet, heels towards the bum, and squeeze the knees into the arms. Hold this here for 1, 2. On the inhale, reach the arms back, legs forward. Stretch, exhale, round, and clamp in. Inhale back. Exhale, forward. Really feel the core here. Inhale, back. Exhale, squeeze. Really lift the tip of your sacrum. Lift your shoulder blades and squeeze the legs in. Inhale, back. And one more time. Exhale, lift. Reach your arms forward. Squeeze the heels into the bum for 1. Squeeze the knees in for 2. And 3. Let the feet fall on top of the mat. Let your feet go a little wider than knees. And slowly allow your knees to fall to one side and to the other. Just flossing out our hips here, going into some rotation here. It's always good to warm up the hips before we get into a pose like crow, which demands a lot of our hips as well. So take these next couple of seconds just to do any type of movement. If you feel like stretching a bit more, stretch. There's no right or wrong here. Just do what feels more natural to you. Nice. Grab your knees, shake them out a bit. Once you're ready, give yourself a bit of a massage here. Let's meet in an all fours position. So just take a moment here to explain a bit of how the hands work in your practice. Whenever our hands are on the floor, we always want to ground down through all 5 knuckles of our hands, especially the index and the thumb pad, which has a tendency to lift. So whenever you feel your inner hand starting to lift, always remember to keep that firmly planted. What I like to cue is always have your index finger directly pointed forward, parallel to the sides of the mat. For me, this helps me have a better grounding of these inner knuckles. So always remember to have this part of your hand firmly grounded into the floor. So having said that, plant your hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. Feel all 10 knuckles grounded into the mat, and from your fingertips, imagine as if you're clawing the floor, feeling your forearms activate, but without allowing the index knuckles to lift up. And from here, push the ground away through your shoulders, and let's start to warm up the wrists by taking a couple of circles to the left. Go as far as you feel comfortable. And always remember, I like to use this time just to really feel the connection of my hands to the floor. Really feeling all 10 knuckles grounded, especially the index and thumb, and gripping down through the fingertips. Let's switch sides, go to the right. Keep the breath nice and soft. Nice. Now turn the hands to face out, so left fingers face left and right fingers face right. And same thing here. Do a couple of circles to the left, always grounding down through the knuckles and the fingertips. And to the right. Couple more here. Nice. Now turn your fingers to face the knees. If this is too tight for you, you can always walk your knees forward to make it more accessible. Now same thing, hand firmly grounded, and slowly lean back towards your heels as you allow your palm to lift up slightly and you feel a stretch in the fingertips and here in the front of the forearm. Take an inhale here, and exhale, lean forward, and slowly rock back. Forward, and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. One more time, forward and back. Hold. Take a breath in. You can always bend your elbows if you want to feel a bit more, but without feeling any strain on the wrist. For 1, 2, and slowly release. Turn your front of your palm to plant on the ground, so palms of the hands facing towards your face, and slowly rock side to side here, but without, once again, we never want to move into any pain in the wrist, So just go as far as you feel a nice sensation here on the outside of the arm. As we warm up all angles of the wrists. And release. Shake it out a bit. Place your palms again at beneath the shoulders. And we'll start to bring a bit of attention here in our shoulder blades. So draw the shoulders away from the ears. And keeping that position, push the ground away from you so that you feel your upper back broaden. This is the position that we want to replicate. We want to replicate in the crow position. So from here, allow the shoulder blades to slowly squeeze together. So pin them back, allowing your chest to melt. Try not to move too much through your pelvis. And slowly push the ground away, feeling that broadness. Slowly drop down. And slowly push away. Keep doing this motion and allowing the shoulder blades to move freely. But remember to keep the waist nice and still and the core slightly engaged, so that we isolate all the movement coming through our shoulder blades. Squeeze them down and forward. Once more, down and forward. Now we'll go through a full circle. So from our shoulder blades being pushed together, so squeeze them back. In this position, we're going to allow the shoulders to go up towards the ears, but they're still squeezed back. Push the ground away and slowly draw the shoulder blades down. We'll go through two more. Squeeze them in. Up towards the ears, away from you, and down. One more. Squeeze them back, up towards the ears, push the ground away, and drag the shoulders away from the ears. One more. Squeeze in, up, away, and down. Nice. Keeping this position, shoulder blades pushed away from each other and away from the ears. Let's start to bring a bit of attention into our low back and pelvis region. On the next inhale, just arch your low back without allowing your upper back to broaden. We'll get there in a minute. And slowly exhale as you round and tuck your tailbone under, really feeling the glutes and abs engage. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, arch. Keep grounding through the hands. And exhale, round. Now we're going to do the full spine. So on the next inhale, arch the low back. Start bringing that arch throughout the whole spine as you keep your shoulders away from the ears and look forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone and round the back into this cat-like position. Inhale, arch the back, tailbone up towards the crown of the head. Exhale, round the back and push the ground away. Nice. This is the position we want to replicate in today's practice when we get to crow. Is this rounded position with our tailbone tucked under and our shoulder blades pushing away from each other. Sit back on the heels. Let's relax the hands a bit. Shake them off. And let's do just a bit more, one more exercise. One of my favorite exercises to light up the forearms. Have your arms directly in front of you. Open your hands as wide as you can and slowly start to close them. Open and close. Do this a couple of seconds. This is one of those exercises where when I'm teaching this, it's funny to see people's faces that never did this type of exercise. Their forearms start to cramp, their fingers start to go weird. So if you're one of those, welcome to the club. It's okay. In no time, you'll be able to stay here for a couple of minutes maybe. A bit faster. Wide and close. Keep the breath soft. Start to feel the heat building up in the forearms. Open and close for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it off. Come back into all fours position. Ground down through the 10 knuckles. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Tuck the toes under. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, round your back as if you're in that cat position we just did, but I want your neck to be neutral. So don't tuck it in or arch it up. Just allow the neck to be relaxed. Push the ground away. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift your knees just about 2 inches off the ground. Your shoulder blade is going to want to squeeze. Don't allow them. Keep pushing. Keep squeezing the hands in towards each other and tucking the tailbone. Start to feel this engagement in the arms. Keep the hands firmly grounded for 1. Keep pushing for 2. 3, keep this push and lift your hips up and back into your first downward facing dog, and then adjust as you need to. Take a couple of moments here in our first down dog to wiggle off the hips a bit, bend the knees, do whatever feels more comfortable to you. It's always nice to shake off the first down dog. Now once you find your position, let's just start to bring a bit of awareness here to the hands. Like we were in the beginning of the hands, ground down through all 10 knuckles, grip the fingers into the mat, squeeze the forearms towards each other, and push the ground away, allowing your shoulders to come up towards the ears. And to solidify that, rotate your biceps forward. So this is what we want to replicate in our down dog. Lift the hips up and back, slightly arching a low back to feel a stretch in the hamstrings, and bend the knees as you need to. Take one more inhale here, and exhale, release. Next inhale, come up to the tip of the toes, tuck the tailbone under, and start rounding your upper back as we shift forward into plank position. Shoulders directly over the wrists, hands firmly grounded, and push the ground away as you rotate your biceps forward slightly. Core is nice and engaged. Hold this here for 1. Squeeze the hands together for 2. Bend the knees, arch the low back, and come back into downward facing dog. We'll flow through those movements. Inhale, ripple through into plank, always pushing the ground. Exhale, bend the knees, arch, and back to downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, forward. Always gripping the mat. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. Pull the feet towards each other slightly. The next inhale, we lift the right leg up, bend the knee, and slowly open the hip. Try not to lose any awareness in your hands. Keep grounding and keep pushing the ground away. One more inhale. On the next inhale, slowly bring your right foot to step outside of the right hand. Once it lands, come to your fingertips and slowly bend the left knee. If you need to put a blanket or something underneath the left knee, please do so. Keeping this position, firm the legs in and squeeze the feet towards each other. Inhale, get long through the crown of the head. And on the exhale, allow your ribs to slowly come down and in as we engage our core. Keeping this engagement, inhale, shift the hips forward slightly, feeling a nice stretch in the front of the hip. Exhale, lean back and slowly straighten your right leg. Just a tip here, don't overextend your knee. Keep a slight bend, flex your foot, and from your front heel, I want you to imagine as if you're pressing the heel down and dragging the heel back. This is really gonna light up the hamstrings. Keeping this, slightly arch your back as you lean forward, feeling a stretch. And let's flow through those 2. Inhale, shift forward, always squeezing. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Plant the hands on the ground. Engage the left leg, straightening the knee. Push the ground away. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, slowly place the left foot outside of the left hand. Now, before we do anything here, I'd like you to adjust your feet as we're going to go down into Malasana yoga squat. I actually call this Indo squat because I saw the first time people doing this in Indonesia, they were just eating like this, so then I just started to replicate it. So if this pose isn't very accessible to you, if your heels are not on the ground, have a blanket underneath the heels. That's totally fine. We'll just relax here for a couple of breaths. Feeling this posture, have a bit of a shake out in the hips. This is actually a primal posture we kind of forgot. We normally sit on chairs and don't have the abilities to sit like this anymore. So this is a nice time to get those patterns back in our system. One more inhale. Slowly lean forward, lift the hips, place the hands down, and bring the left leg back to the mat. Slowly lower the left knee. Inhale as you reach your arms forward and slowly arch your back into this modified lizard. And from here, I want you to press down firmly through your right heel and squeeze the left knee in, just as we did in the beginning. Inhale. Exhale, place your hands down again.
straighten the left leg, push the ground away, dome, and slowly lift your right leg off the floor. For 1, 2, 3, place the right foot back, lower the left knee. Inhale as we reach forward once again, pressing down through the left heel, squeezing in with the right. Exhale, hands down, straighten the left leg. Take an inhale as you push the ground away, round, and exhale, try to hover the right foot. For 1, 2, 3, lower down, place the left knee down. Last time, inhale, reach forward, arch. Exhale, hands down, straighten the left knee, push the ground away on the inhale. Exhale, hover the right foot. For 1, 2, 3, keep hovering as we come back into downward facing dog. Take a breath in through the nose and through the mouth. Let's do the left side. Inhale, left leg lifts, bend the knee and open the hip. Take a couple of breaths here. And on the next inhale, slowly, with control, place the left foot to meet the outside of the right hand. Slowly lower the right knee and lift your chest up. Same thing as before, squeeze the legs in and towards each other. Inhale as we reach forward with our hips. Exhale, slowly straighten the left leg. Same thing as before, same actions. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward, spine nice and long. Keep that spine as you exhale and fold. Inhale, place the foot down, place the hands down, and straighten the right leg. Push the ground through the hands, gripping the mat with your fingertips. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly place the right foot on the outside of the right hand. Now from here, inhale into an active squat position, nice and low. And breathe. Knees slightly out so you can feel a bit of your glutes. Spine stays nice and long. And breathe. For 1, 2, 3. Place your hands on the ground. Slowly bring that right foot back and place the right knee on the floor. Same thing as before. Walk your hands forward slightly as you lift your chest up and ground through this left heel, squeezing the knee in. Exhale, place the hands back down as you straighten your right leg. Inhaling, rounding the back, pushing the ground, gripping the mat with the fingers. Exhale, hover the left foot. It's okay if the foot comes here, but try your best to keep it next to the hand. For 1, and put it down. Inhale, come forward, arch the back. Exhale, hands down, straighten the right knee, hover, and lift. Dome, sorry. Keep pushing for 1, 2, and slowly place it down. Let the right knee come to the floor. Last time, inhaling, reaching forward, arching. Exhale, hands down. Extend the right knee. Push, dome, grip the mat. And on the exhale, lift the left foot for 1, 2. Keep hovering as we come back into downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here in down dog. Allow yourself to find a bit of stillness in this pose. Always remembering the engagement of the hands, grounding down through all 10 knuckles, gripping the mat with your fingertips, squeezing the forearms in, and elevating the shoulders towards the ears as we rotate the biceps to the front, lifting the hips up and breathing deeply. Inhale, lift the heels up, gaze forward. Exhale, slowly walk to the front of your yoga mat. Have a slight bend in the knees and feel free to do whatever feels more natural to you in this moment. Have a shake out in the arms, in the neck. Just create a bit of movement here. Now from here, slowly relax the arms, relax the neck. Have a slight bend in your knees and pressing down for your feet, tucking the tailbone under. Start to roll up vertebra by vertebra as we meet in Tadasana, mountain pose, placing the hands at heart center and closing the eyes once again if it feels comfortable for you. Take a breath in, feeling the expansion, and exhale as you ground down through your feet, feeling the connection with your mat. Bring your breath back to your awareness. Blink the eyes open. On the next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, bending the knees as you wish. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, place the hands down and step the left foot back. Slowly lower than the left knee and lift your chest up. Same thing as before, slightly walk your right foot out. And same thing as before, hug the thighs in and squeeze the feet towards each other. From here, we're going to inhale, shift forward. Exhale as before, extend, and maybe we can go a bit deeper. Inhale forward, bending the front knee. Exhale, slightly straighten, dragging the heel back as we lengthen forward. Inhale forward. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale forward once again. And from here, I want you to inhale, get long through the crown of the head. And exhale, twist towards your right leg. Try to keep your right knee over your right heel, really pressing down through that right heel. Bend your left elbow and place your right hand wherever is more comfortable. You can extend it, have it supported here, whatever feels nicer to you. On the next inhale, try to reach your left elbow to touch your right big toe, always pressing down through the right heel, and slowly come back. Inhale, reach forward. Always pressing down through the heel and slowly come back. Last one, inhale forward and slowly hold. Keep pressing down through the right heel. Keep pressing the feet towards each other as we hold for 1, 2, lift up, place the hands on the mat, straighten your left leg. Inhale as you push the ground away round and grip the mat with your fingers. And on the exhale, hover the foot once again for 4, 3, squeeze, 2, 1, come back into downward facing dog. Inhale as we shift forward into plank pose. Lean, grip the mat, exhale, knees on the ground if you wish, chaturanga. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, cobra. Exhale, your way back to downward facing dog. One inhale all together here. And through the mouth. Inhale, lift the heels, gaze forward. Keep pressing the ground with your hands. Exhale, step or hop to the front of the yoga mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. With the breath, inhale, reach, expand. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Open your heart forward. Exhale, hands to the ground, and right foot comes back as the right knee steps down, and we lift. Slightly walk your left foot to the outside. Squeeze the thighs in, legs towards each other. Same thing. Inhale forward. Exhale, slowly back, and maybe a bit deeper, but always pressing that heel down and back. Inhale forward. Exhale, back. Inhale forward. Exhale, back. Inhale forward. If you want to close your stance up a bit for more balance, that's totally fine. Left knee tries to stay over the left heel. Inhale, get long through the spine. Exhale, twist towards your left leg. Right elbow this time bends, and left arm wherever it's more comfortable. Inhale, try to reach your right elbow towards your left foot and slowly come back. Inhale, right elbow to left foot, always pressing down through this left heel, and slowly come back. One more time, inhale, and hold. Keep the twist, keep pressing the left heel down for 1, 2, slowly come back up. Place the hands firmly down on the mat, grounding down through all 10 knuckles. Straighten the right leg, dome the upper back. Take an inhale as you grip the mat with your fingertips, and exhale, hover the left foot for 4. Squeeze up, 3, 2, and slowly come back into downward facing dog. Inhale as we roll forward into plank, always pushing the ground away. Lean forward, grip the mat, and exhale as you bend the elbows and lower to chaturanga. Inhale, locust, whatever you need, a small back bend. Cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog is where we all meet. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Connect with the breath. Connect with the sensations in your body. How are you feeling in this moment? Ground down through the hands. Shoulders nice and stable. Walk the feet in slightly. On the next inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, try to bring your right knee to the outside of your right arm. Push the ground away. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward, slowly and controlled. Keep grounding down through the inner knuckles. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. We've got 2 more. You can do it. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. Last one. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. Hold it here. Slowly drop the knee to almost touch the ground and use the core to squeeze it back up. For 1, slowly down. Squeeze for 2, slowly down. Squeeze for 3, slowly down. Squeeze for 4, slowly down. You can do it, keep pushing. Squeeze for 5 and hold for 1. Keep pushing the ground, keep grounding down the hands. 2, and now place the right foot on the outside of the right hand. Whew, I know that can get tough. Great job, as always. If you couldn't do all of them, that's totally fine. Just have some compassion for yourself, and with time, you'll get there. So for now, let's meet in this modified lizard pose and start walking the hands forward and slowly arch the back. If you're comfortable, you can come into your forearms, but I want you to rather, instead of just hanging out, I want you to be quite active. So as we did before, press the feet, in this case, the left knee down and forward and the right heel down and back. So it gives us a slight lift in our hips. And really press firmly down through this right heel. You can even squeeze the right knee towards your arm and hold this position. After that, it feels good to hold a pose. I'm definitely building up a sweat already. Close your eyes if it's comfortable. One more breath. Slowly walk the hands back. Keep the right foot where it's at. Straighten the left leg. And from there, straighten your right leg as slightly, don't overextend it, and flex your right foot. If you need, you can have 2 blocks, totally fine. Now I want you to, instead of just, as always, instead of just hanging, press this right heel down and drag it back. And I want you to imagine, just as we did in the pose before, imagine as if you're sinking your chest to the floor, but without overdoing it, because it can be easy to overstretch the hamstring here. So be cautious, stay engaged as we drag the heel back. I just noticed that I'm messing up the sides a lot, so apologies. Changing right with left happens. One more breath in, and slowly rebend the right knee. Place the hands back down on the mat. Grip the mat, push the ground away, take an inhale, Exhale, lift the right foot for 1, 2, squeeze up, 3, and back to downward facing dog. Great job, guys. Let's take an inhale here. Exhale, release. One more inhale as we prepare for the left side. Exhale. Hands firmly planted, shoulders nice and active. Squeeze the feet in slightly. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, left knee tries to touch the outside of the left tricep. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. One more, you can do it. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Now straight into those. Ground the inner knuckles. Slowly lower the knee and squeeze in for 1, 2, 3. Index knuckles grounded. 4, 5. Hold for 1. Keep pushing. 2. And slowly place the left foot outside of the left hand. Let the right knee drop as we lean slightly forward and walk our hands or elbows to the ground. You can always have a shake out of the wrists. I know that it can get pretty intense, so if you want just to have a quick shake out here. Same rules apply here. Squeeze the legs towards each other, having a slight lift in your hips. Ground down through the left heel as we slightly squeeze the left knee in. And keep breathing. And how many breaths can you bring the breath back to its expansive and controlled state? Focus on taking long, deep inhales and long, deep exhales. One more breath in. Slowly walk the hands back. Straighten the right leg and slowly extend the left leg, having a micro bend in your left knee and pulling the left toes towards your left knee. As the same thing as before, try to melt your chest even a bit to the side and down as we press the left heel down and drag it back. Stay with the breath. Slowly rebend the left leg. Ground the hands down on the mat. Once again, push and round. Grip the fingers. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift the left foot for 1, 2, 3, and downward facing dog. If you want, child's pose is always an option. Your practice. Push the ground away, ground through the inner knuckles. Rotate the biceps to face forward and slightly arch your low back to feel the hamstrings as you allow your heels to melt down towards the mat. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, release and sit on your heels. Give a shake out on the wrists. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Great job, guys. I know that can be pretty intense on the wrists. Always remember, even if you do just 2 reps, always remember to keep this part of the hand grounded, because it's easy when we start to fatigue on the arms. It's easy to try and cup the hands, which is when we lift the inner knuckles, but that can lead us to a bit of injury when we put too much weight on the outside of the wrists. Let's strengthen the wrists a bit more, so have a bit of a shakeout. And we'll come into an all-fours position. And what we're going to do here is wrist push-ups. So we're going to ground down through just these 4 knuckles from the index to the pinky. And we're going to basically lift the palm of the hand as much as we can and slowly lower it down. Really using the muscles of our forearm. The stacker you are with the shoulders on top of the wrist, the harder it is. The further back you are, the easier it is. So pick an option that's easy for you. We'll go for 10 reps. So whenever you're ready, push the ground away and lift the heel, really grounding out to the knuckles, and slowly lower. For 1, 2, this is harder than it looks. 3, 4, really use those forearms. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice job. Shake it out. Feel that heat building. And now we're gonna go back into this all four position. But this time I want your knees to be slightly back. Same rules apply here. Push the ground away. Allow your shoulders to draw back away from the ears and rotate your biceps forward. Always grounding down to the 10 knuckles of the hands. Now, keeping your tailbone tucked, lean forward, grip the mat with your fingers, and slowly bend your elbows. So just a mini bend. Don't need to go to 90 degrees. Hug the elbows in, ground down to the knuckles, straighten the elbows, and back. We're gonna go for 4 more. Tuck the tailbone, lean forward, keep pushing the ground, and slowly bend the elbows. Elbows on top of the wrists. Hug the elbows in for 1, 2, push and back, lean, slowly bend. So a mini bend, not too much. 1, keep the tailbone. 2, straighten and back. We got 2 more. Inhale forward, grip the mat, slowly bend. For 1, 2, straighten and back. Last one, guys, you can do it. Lean forward, tuck the tailbone, slightly bend the elbows, hug the elbows in, keep pushing the ground for 1, 2, and relax. Shake out the wrists. That can be intense. So what we just did here is basically having this small bend in the elbow is basically the prep for any arm balance. Once you get strong in this position with a slight bend in your elbow, it's just putting your knees or legs or whatever it is on top of the arms. But having this foundation is the base for any arm balance. So have a shake out of the wrists as we go. Actually, as you shake out the wrists, I'll guide you guys through a couple of options here for crow pose. So we'll start in this squat position in the tips of our toes. And I'll give you guys 3 options. So the first option, starting with your hands on the ground, you're gonna lean forward slightly and ground down, remember, through the inner knuckle, grip the mat with your fingertips and rotate the triceps to face back so that we have a nice shelf for the arms. Leaning forward so that the elbows are on top of the wrists. Small bend, just as we did before. You're gonna just do the small crow with your knees pretty low and just try to lift up one foot and another. Keep pushing, don't allow your chest to collapse. Keep pushing and keep squeezing the elbows in. And just play with leaning your weight forward to the fingers, gripping and trying to lift one foot or maybe the other. The second option is going a bit higher, a bit deeper in the hips, basically on the outside of the armpit. Same thing, squeeze the inner thighs in, just as we did in the beginning in that first exercise. Plant the hands down, lean forward, shift the weight over to the fingertips so that the elbow is directly over the wrist. Squeeze the elbows in, hug the thighs in, and maybe lift one leg, maybe lift the other, and maybe lift 2. For this one, super crucial to squeeze in with the thighs. And the last option, which is for me probably the easiest to begin with, which is placing the knee directly over the elbow. So same position goes for the hands. Lean forward, this time slight bend in your elbows and find your knee on top of the elbow. You have like this tiny natural shelf. Lean to the fingertips, lean, grip the mat with your fingertips and maybe lift one leg, maybe lean and lift the other leg. So take this couple of moments to explore the option that's best for you. Super important. If you want to get light on your feet in any arm balance, the key is to shift the weight over to your fingertips. So choose your position and try playing with that titty-totter of going forward, gripping the mat, because when you grip, it's what prevents you from going face down into the floor. And play it until you find that position where you're nice and active and stable. So The next 30 seconds, just play with your posture as I give my wrist a little warm out. And I'll actually join you guys in the bone stacking one. So lean, grip, push, and find your balance as you lift up. We'll hold this here for another 5. Squeeze the elbows in. 2, 1, and slowly place the foot down. Great job, guys. Always remember, even if you didn't get both the feet off, this is a journey. It's like moving towards crow is where we want to get there, but how long we're going to get there is not up to us. So just keep showing up. Do this practice several times until you get more comfortable. And just with practice, you'll get there. So enough of exercises on the hands. Let's cool down, shall we? So starting with the wrists, place your right forearm on the ground. And with your right knee, but just below the right knee on the tendon here, place your tendon on top of the meaty part of the forearm. So next to the elbow, and just massage yourself here, allowing the weight of your knee to fall deep into the forearm. And start to relax with the breath here as we massage the forearms. It's actually something that gets neglected a lot. A lot of people do a lot of poses on the wrists, but rarely sometimes do people relieve the tension, which is super important to prevent any injuries. So give a nice massage here. Really put some pressure on the forearm. And slowly release and change sides. So this time, left forearm down, left knee goes on top, and slowly massage the meaty part of the forearm forward and backwards as you relax your neck and tune into your breathing. One more second or two. And slowly relax. Feel that release the tension in the wrist. If you need to give your wrist a bit of a more shake out, please do. But just for the sake of the time we have, we'll start to go to the other posture. So have your knees in like a all-fours position, hips stacked over the knees, and walk your hands pretty far forward as you allow your chest to melt. I actually recommend starting with the elbows so we don't strain the shoulders, and from here walk your hands forward. And instead of having the armpits like close to the floor, I want you to actually pull them away from the floor, so as if you're pulling your shoulder blades back towards each other. Allow your heart to melt down as you arch your back. And really, this is basically the opposing action of what we did. We did a lot of spinal flexion, which is rounding the back, and hip flexion. So this is a nice counter. So imagine, a good cue that I like to give is imagine that you're pulling the center of your heart towards the floor so that you open your upper back. One more inhale here. Exhale, slowly lean back towards the heels as you walk your hands back. And slowly lay down on your backs. Nice. Have your heels a bit further than your knees, a bit further forward. And grounding down through the heels, press down, lift your hips up. And you can interlace your fingers here if you want another stretch. Pull the shoulder blades together, lift the heart up, and just breathe here. Relaxing your neck. Feeling a bit of your glutes active. Breath nice and soft. One more inhale. And exhale as you release. Slowly, vertebra by vertebra. Small twist here. Extend the right leg and bring your hips slowly to the left to facilitate the twist in our sacrum. And slowly bring your left knee to the right, grabbing the knee with the right hand and opening the left arm out to the side. And just relax here, don't force, just allow gravity. We did a lot of intentional activation in our muscles, and now just allow everything to melt as you just observe what you've created in your practice, how you're feeling after this time here. Allow the breath to lengthen and expand, and the exhales to ground you. Slowly walk to the center, and let's change the sides. Extend the left leg, bring your hips to the right. Same thing. Allow your right knee to come to the left as you open your right hand out to the side. The knee doesn't need to come to the ground. Don't force it. Just relax. Focus on prolonging the exhales. So imagine if you're inhaling for 4 seconds, you can even count, expanding the belly, the ribs. Exhale for about 6 to 8 seconds with control, really feeling the muscles melt and relaxing. Come back to center. Hug your knees in. Give yourself a little bit of love after that effort. Take a deep inhale through the nose, expanding ribs, belly, chest. And on the exhale, release yourself into a Shavasana. Bring the heels to the corners of the mat, hands wherever they want. And just focus yourself on the breath coming in and out through the nose, allowing everything else to soften and relax as you lay down with gratitude for the time you took for yourself and showing up. Stay in Shavasana as long as you need. Once again, thank you so much for practicing with me. Hope you feel nice and energized. And I'll see you next time. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.